So you're back here with a repeat of yesterday's final round. This one is for the trophy. Michael Hamilton will get another shot at Jonathan Rosum.
Rosum, our first seed. Hamilton's our second seed. It's a high seed, but this is the matchup where Rosum will be on the play.
Yeah, the White-Blue Monument deck, the only deck to put 2 copies into top 8. Ben Weinberg, local here from Cincinnati, was the other player in top 8. He lost to Steven Dykman that match. Dykman, though, was not able to get through Hamilton, a 2-0 here. Rosum actually has dropped a game in both his semis and quarterfinal matches. Hamilton, since the elimination rounds, has not lost a game. So out for turn 1, you have Thraben Inspector with Rosum. Hamilton's deck, as we mentioned, especially in game 1, has so many ones in this control deck that it plays like a different deck each time.
Yep. Yeah, all of your turns are going to be pretty high context based on what you've drawn.
Yeah, we see Rosum just curving out. Thraben Inspector into Hanvir Militia Captain can get both those down beneath any of the removal and counters of Hamilton. The only 1 mana card that Hamilton has is Magma Spray, only 2 copies in the deck.
When you get to 2 mana, it gets a couple more removal spells. You have those Abrades, a couple Harness Lightnings.
Yeah. Hamilton takes 3 more on the attack. No kill spell yet here. Bygone Bishop is going to be the try for Rosum. That should get a counter from Hamilton, and it does. It's a copy of Censor.
Anytime you can censor something, that feels pretty good.
Yeah, especially something as high quality as Bishop. 3rd land from Hamilton was an Aether Hub, gets him an energy. But he is in the situation that every time Hamilton trades a removal spell for Jonathan's play, he's still taking 3 damage, as we see another swing from Rosum.
Right.
4th land, Selfless Spirit is the try. See whether or not that gets an Essence Scatter from Hamilton. He has Essence Scatter and Abrade, both in his hand.
That one frequently worth an Essence Scatter.
Looks like he'll use Supreme Will, the 3 mana counter. It's the more versatile card, but he is being mana efficient here. And Rosum just passes, no follow-up. His hand looks to be a land and a Bygone Bishop.
Rosum will be able to crack that clue here anyway.
Yeah, 4th land from Hamilton sets up Glimmer of Genius. He also looks like he has a Fumigate in hand, so things could be just fine for Hamilton.
That's a big part of why you want to fight over that Selfless Spirit.
Yep. Cracks the clue on end step. Jonathan says, can he untap? Well, he can. 3 more. This will put Hamilton down to 10. A Dusk Dawn in Rosum's hand. It's an interesting card in the matchup. First, though, we're going to see Bygone Bishop. See if Hamilton wants to counter. He can... Right now, this is interesting. He has Glimmer of Genius. He's going to cast it. I'll say he has Fumigate. He doesn't have an untapped 5th land, so there's a bit of a risk here. If he finds untapped land 5, that's going to go on top. I imagine everything else is going to go on the bottom.
And any untapped 5th land will do. He does have double white already.
Puts it to the bottom, draws 2, Nahiri, and looks like Supreme Will. So no, not yet. And misses Jason Unraveler of Secrets. So no land 5 at all for Hamilton, tapped or untapped. Unfortunate for him.
Yeah, and at 10, facing down 5 power. Not a great position.
Yeah, he really was hoping to hit the Fumigate. And, you know, the odds were on his side there. But lines up, he'll have to make do. He'll Abrade away the Bygone Bishop. Play a tapped land. That's Wandering Fumarole. That's the last land in his hand. You go back to Jonathan Rosum. Swings for 3, puts Hamilton down to 7. Rosum's last 2 cards, both pretty good. Cloud Blazer, Dawn Dusk, and Hanvir Militia Captain are their last 3 cards.
One thing notably missing from Rosum here, he has 5 lands. No Westvale Abbey just yet. That is the land that you really want in this matchup.
He'll cast Cloud Blazer, and that's interesting. Michael's going to Essence Scatter it. He did have the Fumigate on the untapped, but just can't take the risk.
Yeah, Cloud Blazer replaces itself twice over, so taking it for 1 card feels pretty good.
And now there's the untapped land from Michael Hamilton. It's a turn too late, but he might still make do. Nahiri, Jace, Supreme Will,
and
land and Fumigate.
Just Inspector, Nahiri exiling
Militia Captain, yeah.
Pretty strong.
That's what he's going to do. Nahiri drops down to 2. And you're right with Just Inspector. Jonathan actually can't kill Nahiri just yet.
At some point here, Rosum wants to just cast Dusk so that he can get access to Dawn.
Yeah. Thraben Inspector will put Nahiri down to 1. I believe he has the lands to do it. If he has Prairie Stream here, that should work. See here, Militia Captain. Does it resolve, he asks? Yes. Land 6, Prairie Stream. And yeah, not a bad play. The Dawn is not going to do much. Just, yeah, I'll put it in his graveyard. Dawn. That does nothing. It allows him to cast Dusk on a following turn.
Strike that, reverse it. Dusk for nothing.
There we go.
Dawn later.
Suppose that's how the sunset works. First, the sun has to set before it can rise again. Okay, so dusk happens.
That's very poetic.
I know. Thank you.
Yeah, this makes it so Fumigate, not a very good use of a turn for Hamilton.
Yeah, if he casts Fumigate, John Rosum will just cast Dawn, get back all 5 cards. Michael just needs a counter spell, and he has one. He has Supreme Will. So it's a nice spot as a control deck when you know the card you have to counter, you can play around it. Now, if he wants to leave up Supreme Will, Michael can't play anything. That's less exciting, but at 7, he might be forced on the issue.
Right.
And here, up to 3, we'll discard the Essence Scatter, it looks like. Draw Michael a fresh card. That's cast out. And that might be okay. Michael could, well, he would lose his Nahiri. But he can leave up cast out, hope that Jonathan goes for the Dawn, then cast out on end step. It's still not great. He'd love to have a Planeswalker in play.
Right.
You know. Jace plus go is very nice from Michael. Jonathan would get to refill, so we'd have a game again. This is a big decision for Michael as to how he wants to play this. He can either give both players lots of cards, or he can try to fight the counter war, and he's going to go for the first option. Fill up both players' hands. Michael thinks he can win from there.
Yeah, and the thing about leaving up the will is that it's going to be really difficult to beat Resolved Dawn.
Yeah.
But you're also just kind of not doing anything, and if Rosum doesn't cast it, he could find some other relevant spell and really punish you for that.
And Rosum probably wouldn't cast it. It's too suspicious.
Right.
He did use the Jace to put the Militia Captain back in Rosum's hand. Rosum will attack Jace down to 2. Will he cast Dawn? This is his window. If he doesn't cast it here, I don't think Michael's going to give him another chance at it.
Not casting that with the window doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
He's going to pass it by. Here's Militia Captain.
Looks like he picked up Spell Queller. I suppose this makes some sense. That'll get him another creature on the battlefield. He can apply more pressure to these Planeswalkers immediately.
Yeah, I mean, but for Michael, how nice is it? You see, if he finds 2 more lands, eventually Michael will get to the point where he can cast Fumigate with the counter spell up, and then we should be done.
This definitely feels like a win from Hamilton's seat.
Yeah, Glimmer of Genius picked up off the Jace from Michael Hamilton. You know, talk to Jonathan about this matchup. This is actually, he says, compared to Blue-Red, this is a much harder matchup. So the Planeswalkers are problematic for his deck.
Yeah.
We are seeing that.
Any situation where you can resolve a sweeper or manage your opponent's creatures otherwise, and you just get to activate Planeswalkers again and again, really powerful.
Pull from Tomorrow, discarded to Nahiri so that Michael can draw. He plays a basic Plains. Yeah, lands are what he's looking for. That, of course, and eventually the God Pharaoh. We're going to see it. The one of Nicol Bolas in his deck. Spell Queller on end step from Rosum. Will that resolve? Yes, it does. Enough damage that Hamilton can attack down the Jace. It looks like he's going to send everything at it. Wants to make sure the Unraveler is gone.
Hamilton does have a Wandering Fumarole hanging out.
Right. Looks like he'll just put the Planeswalker away.
Leaving up mana for both Glimmer of Genius and Supreme Will.
And here's Dawn from Rosum. There's the Supreme Will. That's the counterspell Michael wanted. So Dawn is gone. And end step, Glimmer of Genius from Hamilton. This is looking nice. He's going to get to draw cards, keep his Nahiri, cast Fumigate.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go. Control is happening.
Scries both to the top. Not a good feeling.
Yeah. Radiant Flames picked up as well. That could do it. Doesn't even have to fumigate. Can use the mana efficient answer.
With how resource light everything is, using fumigate here, relatively free. Obviously, Radiant Flames does the same job.
Michael picks up Torrential Gearhulk on that Nahiri activation. Looking nice. Here's Radiant Flames. That'll clean up the board. No creatures for Rosum.
Looks like he also has another Glimmer.
He'll do that main phase. Yeah, just wants to hit the land drop.
Well, Rosum's tapped low for a Spell Queller.
Right.
Of course, Hamilton shouldn't have any problems dealing with a Spell Queller.
Well, I'm not sure what there is. He is going to have problems dealing with at this point. Picks up a second cast out, a copy of Dovin Bond.
Yeah, just kind of a matter of finding a way to actually close the game from here.
Yeah, no real creatures for Nahiri to get back. Torrential Gearhulk's in hand. Dusk, rather. There we go from Jonathan. Plays land, says go.
And still no Westvale Abbey for Rosum. So just 7 lands. Pretty unfortunate.
Yeah, he does play 3 Westvale Abbeys. All right. That's something that actually a Dovin, if Michael can play Dovin Bond and emblem it, that would answer Westvale Abbey, basically. I don't think you could ever make Westvale Abbey a real threat through that kind of emblem.
Okay. That checks out.
Hey.
That's the tech.
Well, I mean, these 4-color decks actually can have trouble answering Westvale Abbey.
I think that if they're making a token every turn, you got to do more than Dovin Bond to check that.
Well, no, if there's an emblem in play. They can't make a token every turn.
It takes some time to get the emblem.
Cloudblazer from Rosum, is it going to resolve? There aren't that many counters in Hamilton's deck. It's more of a mid-range strategy. Yeah, you see, it's actually going to work. Rosum will draw 2. And a land from Rosum. And we saw some of this the first time they played, and now a Ketra's Monument being made, where Michael can actually lose games at this point.
It would be very impressive, but
yeah.
It's not impossible.
I mean, just from a control standpoint, it's not common that a player, when behind, starts getting to resolve spells as nice as Cloudblazer.
Yes. Easier to manage that sort of thing when you're heavy on Torrential Gearhulk.
Yeah. And looks like Supreme Will looking at 4 again for Michael. He's digging, finds 4 lands. I don't even know if he plays Nicol Bolas. I know it's on his deck list. We just never see it.
It's just 1.
Come on, I want to see the God Pharaoh. There's a good spot for it again. And here you discard and draw. Another land. Bolas, known to be a very shy dragon, just doesn't like to show up.
I don't believe that that's actually Nicol Bolas's reputation.
Has been this weekend. He's been watching Michael's deck.
Hamilton, full grip now. Plenty of answers. Won't be a problem to remove this Cloudblazer.
Yeah, Cloudblazer swings for 2. Just puts Hamilton down to 5. John's like, well, I don't really know what you have. You have 100 cards.
Yeah.
I'll start attacking you, see what happens.
This is what I can do.
Could try to plays Westvale Abbey. He's gonna try to cast Dawn. That should get a counter spell.
You would hope.
I think so. I think Hamilton has to use his Gearhulk to counter it, which he'll do. That is assuming he has a counter spell. Hold on. No, he can't even. He's looking for a negate. He's going to cast Glimmer of Genius with the Gearhulk.
2 lands to the bottom.
2 lands,
2 lands off the top.
So is Dawn resolving? this is weird.
Well.
Okay, those are all 7. All 7 back to Rosum's hand.
I see.
With the Oketra's Monument in play, Ryan, is this game happening again? I think it is.
I'm not convinced that it isn't.
This is okay.
Hamilton still has that Fumigate, but Rosum's going to be able to generate a lot of value.
Yeah, all the cards back to his hand. That's exiled too. He has another Dawn to Dusk. Dusk to Dawn. I don't even know what order the phase. I never watch a sunset, clearly.
I'm not familiar with that concept.
Day to night to day. I'm going to cast one of those. All right, so 7 full grip for Rosum. Let's see it. Selfless Spirit, trigger, make a 1/1.
Okay, that's pretty good against Fumigate.
Yeah, and remember, there's no Hour of Devastations in Michael's list.
Just have some spot removal spells, at least a cast out in the hand.
Michael can't stabilize from this board. Is Jonathan going to win this game?
This is
Oh,
crazy.
my goodness. Hanveer Militia Captain makes a 1/1. Now it'll flip next turn.
Hamilton does have Dovenbon in hand. Maybe
Maybe he can
maybe he can turn it around.
do some. All right, I'll go back to Hamilton. He's at 5. Draws another land here. Has cast out.
There's already 4 power of flyers in the air, so Hamilton's got to do something.
Yeah, I guess Dovenbon. Okay, Dovenbon's going to plus targeting Selfless Spirit. We've seen this trick. It's how you cast Hour of Devastation when Hour of Devastation isn't in your list.
The 1-2 punch.
And Jonathan's he's going to in response just sacrifice it.
Yeah, I'm not falling for this.
Nahiri Ultimates. Going to get Linvala.
That'll make some blockers.
All right, and gain life. 5 life. 3/3 Flying Angel. Gets to attack. Come back to Michael's hand. You know, the sad thing is he's shuffling his library, which is about 15 cards now, because you know that the Nicol Bolas is coming up. Most of the deck was scries to the bottom. Now it's probably on the bottom again.
I don't know.
Gotta start over.
I don't know what to tell you, man.
It's just never gonna happen. Look how small. Look, that's like 20 cards max. Michael up to 10. So Linvala gets to attack. Sure. Jonathan down to 17. He'll take.
Players invested in the lore of the game will, of course, be familiar with the Nahiri Dovenbon Nicol Bolas allegiance.
And the Nicol Bolas wasn't actually part of it. See, that's what we clearly learned from this deck. It was just Dovin and Nahiri. Westvale Cult Leader is going to flip. Oh, they actually had to back up. It was too many cards in hand for Hamilton. He has to discard Aether Hub. Now I go to Rosum's turn. Draws Metallic Rebuke. That's actually going to play really well. This is so strange. I don't know. How is this game happening? I mean, that's about right. Linvala's in hand again. So Michael has a lot of life points to work with.
Hey, Linvala's good.
Well, we also noticed, I forgot in the main deck if there are ways to kill Ormondal. If Jonathan makes...
He's got cast out in his hand already, so that does it.
Okay. Bygone Bishop for John Rosum is the play. Gets a 1/1 from Monument. This is going to get him just a stack of clues. I like that. He's going to go for another one. Another Bishop.
Maybe a Cloud Blazer.
Thraben Inspector, double clue. Make a 1/1.
And he tapped his Westvale Abbey already, so he's not done casting spells. They could just be leaving up Spell Queller plus crack a couple of clues.
Sure. Yeah, Cloud Blazer, Spell Queller, Bygone Bishop, all in Rosum's hand. He's got to be careful. He doesn't have another Selfless Spirit, so if the Dovenbon play was happening last turn for Hamilton, you'd assume a Fumigate's coming.
Right.
Can't really counter it.
Yeah, it's a bit curious that Rosum did tap the Westvale Abbey, though. In the face of Fumigate, you could just sacrifice 5 creatures in response and have your indestructible Ormondal.
Yeah, it may be a misstep on his side. We'll see. There's a lot going on. I mean, it's a weird game. If you're on Jonathan's side, you didn't really expect to still be playing.
And frequently you will default to tapping your colorless land first.
Looks like Cast Out actually is being played by Michael Hamilton. This is on end step.
Tagging the monument, I suppose. And Metallic Rebuke's going to take care of that.
Yeah, we never really know what it was targeting. I would assume Monument. Metallic Rebuke did counter it. And you see, actually, Jonathan is kind of aware of the Fumigate. He could have made Spell Queller there on the Cast Out, but didn't really have faith in that one to work.
Right. Here's a little attack before Wrath, the 3/3 Angel coming across.
Sure.
Rosum could put Bishop Cloudblazer in front of it.
If he loses Bishop, Michael might not cast Fumigate.
That would be a win, I think.
He's going to do that. Double blocks it, and Bishop dies. See if Michael still casts Fumigate. Yeah, probably. There's two of them in his hand, so. Yeah, still, I'm not sure that Jonathan can realistically fight through this, but he's going to try. There's one more Dusk to Dawn in his list. That could do it.
We also just has these 2 clues on Cracked.
Another Cast Out. Okay, I don't know that Jonathan can fight on this one.
Hamilton trying to get Spell Queller on the battlefield, I imagine.
It's just trying to get rid of that Monument. Well played, too. Okay, it's going to be Spell Queller from Rosum. No, he's going to crack a clue. I actually like this. Draws a land.
Yeah, so he really wants to Cast Out, hit the Monument, and if a Spell Queller shows up, he'll get to do that and Fumigate the Spell Queller.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a win. All right, Cast Out resolves. Hits a catcher's Monument. That'll work. Here's Fumigate from Michael Hamilton. Had it set up. Big life gain. Looks like it'll be 9. Put Hamilton to 19. Sweep the board. And everything back in the graveyard. Possibility of a reload here from Rosum. He still has Bygone Bishop and Cloudblazer in hand. One clue left as well. And here he will plus, discarding a Plains. Drawing Spire Bluff, Dovin Bond. Gonna Michael counts cards in deck. Bolus is here somewhere, I promise.
Looks like he has more than enough cards to work with in terms of the drawing the entire deck department.
Yeah, Dovin Bond's gonna plus. I mentioned before, if he can make a Dovin emblem, then he no longer has to worry about Westvale Abbey.
Yep, that much is true.
And when I kind of said it, it was a little tongue-in-cheek, not thinking it would matter, but now I'm starting to feel like that is a thing.
Yeah. I don't think it's a thing that happens a lot.
I didn't think
it's a thing that probably matters in this game.
Yeah, we're reaching the territory where Rosum would have 2 Westvale Abbey activations per turn. All right, Cloudblazer is where he's going to start on the reload. Up to 19, draws 2. Hoping to hit another Catcher's Monument. 3 more in the deck. Looks like he found a Metallic Rebuke and a land. He'll have to just pass.
Pretty late in the game for Metallic Rebuke.
Well, Michael's actually tapping pretty low on a lot of these turns. I'm not... It's probably dead.
Hamilton has solved the majority of his problems, though. The reasons for tapping low are kind of gone.
Picks up a negate.
Censor.
Nahiri into Censor. For the record, there are no more creatures in Michael's deck for this Nahiri to care about. So it's just plussing and minusing.
And Michael is going to have to present a way to actually close the game, largely drawing to that nickel bolus.
I'm going to see it. It has to happen. It's the only way he can win. Gearhulk's in the graveyard. Jace is gone. I hope the win con's not the Wandering Fumaroles. No, it's going to be the bolus. Draws a card. Cycling Sensor. Finds a Braid.
I suppose once you plus Dovin Bond, you don't have to worry about your Fumarole getting blocked in any meaningful capacity.
Yeah, Dovin Bond plussing onto Cloud Blazer. And he'll just activate Fumarole and swing. Yeah, that might be the win condition. He'll retap. All right, there we go. There's Fumarole, 1-4. Cloud Blazer, no power, so that'll hit in for 4, looks like. Jonathan down to 15. Strange game. It's probably still going for the control deck, but there for a you just weren't sure for a second.
At this point, it looks really good for Hamilton again.
Well, yeah, I mean, right there, they're on turn 20. They generally don't. It's much more done by this point. That his deck will let Jonathan back in, and Jonathan for his turn picked up the last copy of Dusk to Dawn. Now I do believe there's a negate in Hamilton's hand.
Okay. That should stop this from dragging on too terribly long.
He's got to do something soon to race that Dovin Bond emblem. Hefty graveyard for Rosum to check through. He's deciding whether to risk. He does not have enough mana for Dusk, Dawn, and Metallic Rebuke. He's one short. So if he fires off Dusk and Dawn, he would get tagged by a negate.
Pretty unfortunate math for Rosum there. Yeah, given that Hamilton taps solo off the Fumarole, though there's a good chance that the Fumarole will fire up again next turn.
Yeah.
There might be some more sorcery speed action.
3 mana. It's going to be Bygone Bishop from Rosum. Dusk, Dawn, Rebuke, Westvale Abbey, Island in Rosum's hand. He'll pass. Back to Hamilton. Still counting his deck. I'm curious why he's counting it. What really the concern is here. I don't think he's anywhere close to milling. Picks up a second Dovin Bond.
He's a bit of a ways off of milling.
He has 18 cards now remaining in his library.
Looks like we're going for a Linvala again.
Yeah, Linvala, now that...
Ooh, that is actually kind of a win for Rosum.
Okay.
He says Dusk Dawn that can kill both angels.
Oh, yeah. Gets the angel into play.
Hamilton tapped a bunch of mana,
So
and
that
Rosum still has
Rebuke.
Metallic Rebuke.
So with untapped land, he can Dusk, Dawn, Rebuke. He can do the whole thing. Yeah, this works, I think, especially if he pluses on Cloud Blazer. Then he actually may not be able to defend. I guess he could use a Braid to defend his Dovin. Discards Dovin, draws Harness Lightning.
Yeah,
Double kill spell.
Rosum casts Spell Queller in end step that makes a clue token off of the Bishop.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
wouldn't need the land for the Metallic Rebuke at that point.
You're right. Okay.
It also he wants to
Rosum's
pressure this
still fighting,
Dovin
yeah.
Bond as well.
And he's going to do it. And well played. End step Spell Queller, making a clue. It's going to get the clue no matter what, even if Hamilton has the kill spell.
Right.
It's on cast.
And Hamilton's going to just be out of stuff in his deck if this works.
It cracks the clue, sure. Now Hamilton, I think, is going to shoot down the Bishop. Yeah, deciding he's going to harness to Lightning the Bishop. And Jonathan's probably going to let that resolve.
He's going to get that back.
Yeah. Draws another land. And go to Rosum's turn. Yeah, he's going to get to convert this last Dusk Dawn. Oh, my goodness. Draws through Inspector. Port Town showing island. Jonathan has counted this up so nicely. Here's Dusk. It will kill both of Michael's blockers. It's the last one in Jonathan's deck. Negate from Michael. Metallic Rebuke from Jonathan. Both blockers are dead. Dovin Bond hit down to 5. No ultimate there. No Static Orb. And I think while he's tapped out, yeah, let's play this Dawn.
This should force him to discard some cards, but I think that's acceptable.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No. Nope. No way. Yes, he does.
Yeah,
he goes up to 9.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got some lands.
Right. He's got that island at least. He can pitch that one freely. Wow.
Still in it. I don't know what's happening, but we're still playing.
You know what might have been better than Linvala in that last turn cycle?
I don't. Nickel Bowl.
Yeah, sure. I was leaning Torrential Gearhulk, but yours is good too. And I just keep coming back to this 4-color control deck. It's so lean on actual business.
Well, we saw this the last time they played. In both games, actually, Jonathan won on, like, turn 10. So, you know, where Michael grabbed control and kind of thought the game was over, and then it started seeming less over. Jonathan did discard 2 lands to hand size. One of them was his second copy of Westvale Happy. That was actually a real card to discard.
Right. Though he has plenty of other stuff to do with his mana now.
Hamilton, Abrade, Fumigate, Magma Spray, land. He's running out of things. Dovin plus on Cloud Blazer. Maybe Nahiri Exile Spell Queller. We'll see. So Dovin's plus on Cloud Blazer. Fumarole will swing. Michael's trying to attack to end. Makes sense. This is so good.
Nahiri does have a good amount of loyalty to go after these creatures, so that is nice. It's not doing its -8 anymore. Both creatures from Hamilton's deck are dead. The 1 Linvala and the 1 Torrential Gearhulk. Nahiri known for summoning Emrakul, incapable of summoning Nicol Bolas, in this format anyway.
Yeah, there's one she could summon before his Spark ignited. Nahiri -2 to exile the Spell Queller. Jonathan's down to 11. And we'll go back to his turn. He's maybe ahead. It might be. We'll see. He's got a lot of cards coming.
He doesn't have the monument anymore.
Yeah, access to pay full price for these cards.
He does have to navigate around Fumigate, but Bygone Bishop does a great job of replacing the value he pours in here.
Second Bishop. So here's Bishop. He needs to put enough on the board to protect this Dovin Bond, or to kill Dovin Bond. Remember, if Michael just Fumigates, there is an issue here where Dovin's going to make an emblem.
Mm-hmm.
So we see Bishop making another clue token.
Yeah, but he has gotten the Selfless Spirit back.
Okay.
Hamilton, I believe, has Magma Spray, though, so he can just go for that.
Yeah, he would need 2 Selfless Spirits, you're thinking?
Yeah.
Yeah, here's going to be Hanvir Militia Captain, double clue. Yeah, the problem is no matter how many clues he makes, if Dovin Bond makes an emblem, this might not matter. Selfless Spirit from Rosum. 5 clues.
If Hamilton can only close the game with Wandering Fumarole, it's not impossible that Rosum can beat the emblem.
Well, remember, we see Magma Spray on Selfless Spirit. The Dovin Bond actually, plus Fumigate, did also answer the board.
Right.
So we go back to Hamilton's turn. And this should work. Fumigate setting up Dovin emblem may be good enough. I don't immediately see how Jonathan deals with that. Nahiri up to 9, discards and draws into an island.
Well, he still gets to untap some permanents and can throw some blockers in the way of the Fumarole. I don't know if it's enough.
Yeah, it's 2 every turn. Well, there's still the Bolas in Michael's deck. That's going to happen at some point. I mean,
that one should close it. unfortunate reality that the blue-white deck does not have any creature lands, so not going to be able to solve this Dovin Bond problem.
Yeah, he would have to have left up Westvale Abbey, and even then, that's not great. Fumigate here from Hamilton. It's going to put him to 23. It's going to sweep Jonathan's creatures away. I guess Oketra's Monument might be able to do something. See him activate Fumarole and swing, putting Jonathan to 7. Remember the Oketra's Monument creature? So first of all, there's no more sweepers left in Michael's deck. He's used them all. He's used his Gear Hulk, so there's nothing. The ones have Vigilance. That could do something, right? You don't need to untap them every turn.
Yeah, he does need to find a monument, which he has not yet found.
You know, when Michael finds Nicol Bolas, just so you know, there's a really convenient number that Jonathan's at. It's going to be a really nice draw.
Whatever do you mean?
Cloud Blazer from Jonathan Rosum. No, he's back out of range.
Ha! Take that.
Draws 2. No Oketra's Monument. Not yet. Without Monument, so this emblem's going to happen. You know, here's Hanvir Militia Captain. It's like, I don't even want to crack these clues from Jonathan because you never get your mana back. Thraben Inspector, Thraben Inspector. Just going to cast more Thraben Inspectors. Just 7 clues.
Just throw them all on the battlefield.
Sure. We'll make the Militia Captain flip. And I mean, Jonathan's read the deck lists. There are no sweepers left in Hamilton's deck.
Yep.
Only the God Pharaoh can help him. And not even he's at 9. Bolas. No negate. Okay, it's close.
It's not close.
Not close. I don't even know if it's in his deck. Okay, is this card? Look,
he drop it on the floor.
He went through all of his deck except for 8 cards. Then he unfortunately shuffled it. Now we're back to just 8 cards. It was at the top. We'd scried the rest of the deck to the bottom.
In desperate search.
And then we shuffled it back to the bottom of the deck. This is unreal. What a game.
Pick up that Dovin Bond, put that emblem on the battlefield.
How's he going to deal the last 2 damage? Here's 2 Wandering Fumaroles. I'm serious here. How does
Wandering
Bolas only deals 7?
Wandering Fumarole does not attack well into Thraben Inspector.
No. Nahiri is going to plus. Okay, he hasn't actually activated the Fumaroles yet. Okay. Discards Island. Come on. Gets the God Pharaoh. Gets the land. It's going to be the bottom card. It's going to be the very bottom card.
Farmland Cycles.
You know, there's a...
Get a braid,
let's look at
clue.
Nicol Bolas. How many cards have to be left in the library for it to win?
Well, it just has to plus up after it -4. So it goes from 7 to 3 to deal the 7 damage. So you got to plus it
attacked.
one time. Yeah, that is the problem, isn't it? It will get attacked.
But it's the best card in his deck. All right. We're going to see a cycle. Draws another land.
That one would leave exactly 7 mana.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One Fumarole will attack.
I imagine that we'll see a block.
Just going to spend mana. Ooh. Stasis Snare.
That's kind of like a block.
I like how just aggressively Jonathan's using all his mana. So yeah, Dovin Bond's coming, whatever, don't need my mana anymore. Negate from Hamilton.
Okay, now I'll block.
Now, with a Thraben Inspector,
would you like to invert your Wandering Fumarole?
They can trade. I would have liked it if he had... Yeah, I guess you could just put... And
Good
yes,
trade.
Yes, Michael will trade it. Oh, gosh. A braid at the Militia Captain. Okay, he was trying to... That makes sense. He was trying to get him down below 4 creatures.
Right.
So now we have Dovin Bond Emblem in play. Jonathan only gets to untap 2 permanents a turn.
2 permanents. Tough to attack.
Do you want an attacker or do you want mana? I don't even know if Nahiri matters.
Yeah, who cares
What's
about
she
Nahiri?
do?
Nothing.
I mean, helps him mill himself.
You got to keep up these blockers for that other Wandering Fumarole.
I'm not even sure he plays Bolus. I don't believe anymore. Prairie Stream. I mean, John has 7 clues.
Wouldn't it be a great resolution to this game if Hamilton presented a 59-card deck?
That would be the worst finish. Do you crack any of these clues to look for Oketra's Monument? That's really the card I want here.
I don't think so.
Cycle into a cycling land. Ooh, can cycle that one too.
Can untap Westphal Abbey, but activating that is not great.
Gonna cycle this one with Nahiri, draws Magma Spray. So 7 cards left in Michael's deck?
That's some answers. You can clear out the blockers here. Some of them.
Some of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's 8. 8 left.
And Rosum does untap Westphal Abbey. Unlikely to be activating it, but it makes sense to untap that. That's reasonable. And there's Magma Spray for the Cloud Blazer. Ross, I'm checking here. You know, how many removal spells are left in your deck? There's 2 Magma Sprays.
Yeah.
Harness Lightning, a Braid,
You can't Ormondal him because this Nahiri is just so loyal now.
Right. Yeah,
it's probably,
13
he's just trying to
counters.
mill Michael, I think.
It's what it looks like.
He's going to Spell Quell the Magma Spray. Harness Lightning on Queller from Hamilton. Okay, that goes back away. Cloud Blazer's dead. Michael's out of cards. There's a Bolus in here somewhere, we think. Draws, it's a land. Nahiri goes up to 15. Draws, it's a land. They both want to count his deck. And we're at 6.
Almost there.
If Bolus is the very bottom card, can Michael win? If it's just now we're at 1 out of 6.
Okay, so let's look at removal spells in the deck. 2 Magma Spray, 2 Harness Lightning, 2 Abrade,
I think we've used
2
all those.
Cast Out, 2 Fumigate, Radiant Flames. I believe that all of these cards
have been cast.
Have been gone through.
All right, Oketra's Monument for Rosum. Draws a few. It's okay. It's a Fumarole for Hamilton. That does something.
That's a removal spell for Thraben Inspector.
Draws. Nicol Bolas God Pharaoh. There we go. 4 cards left in the deck.
I believe that that is on time.
There we go. The hour of devastation arrives. None too late for Michael Hamilton. Okay. +2. He'll get to cast free spells off Jonathan's deck. That's what he's going to do. Gets a Spell Queller. -4 to steal 7 damage. That looks like it could be lethal next turn.
Yep. That plus the Spell Queller, that'll do it.
Jonathan's going to have to draw a card off a clue.
And it's looking like that's going to do it. It only took,
his whole
every
deck.
spell in Hamilton's entire
when
deck.
we went back to the part where Michael had Nahiri and a Dovenbon in play and Jonathan had no cards, I thought it might be over quicker. Game 1 is going to go to Michael Hamilton. Nicol Bolas, unbeatable. Selfless Spirit's actually a blocker. Okay, we're still going.
It's really the story of the power of the Dovenbon emblem.
If the Dovenbon emblem wasn't there, Jonathan would have won.
Correct.
If all these, look at those 6 clues and it's like, I don't know, 15 tapped lands.
Among them, Westphal Abbey.
Bolus, gonna cast another free spell here. A Selfless Spirit.
Sure.
Swing with Spell Queller. Jonathan doesn't block. Bolus is gonna kill him. But he has to. So, yeah, he'll block with Selfless Spirit. Fumarole from Michael, and he'll pass. And here he's up to some ridiculous number.
19.
Very loyal.
Usually,
very loyal.
You usually only see Karn get anywhere near that. Typically not even that high.
And cracks a clue. Is this going to be it? I think we're out of... I think Rosum's out of plays. He says go. Swing for 4 in the air. Puts Jonathan to 5. And Bolas finishes the job. 2 cards in deck. Close one here. Michael Hamilton takes the first game.
So
wow.
Hamilton did win the game, but given how much it took to do it, I don't like his position in this matchup at all.
All right, players here are going to look over their sideboards. They're going to take a short break here, and we're going to go ahead and tell you what our next upcoming Grand Prix Star City has to offer. It's coming at the beginning of September. It's Grand Prix Washington, D.C.
On September 1st through the 3rd, make plans to be part of Magic the Gathering history when StarCityGames.com proudly presents Grand Prix Washington, D.C. Register by Sunday, August 6th for the standard format main event to compete for thousands of dollars in prizes and receive an exclusive playmat featuring Hour of Devastation. Select the 3-day Infinite Challenge package to compete in all challenge events for one low price, while also walking away with the exclusive Hour of Devastation playmat. All Friday challenges are also Grand Prix trials. Come out early and compete for buys in the main event and more chances to claim an Hour of Devastation playmat. Prefer 100-card formats? Register for the Ultimate Commander package to play in 4 Commander on-demand events and take home a Commander vs. playmat and Ultimate Guard Boulder deck case. Want to play on Magic's grandest stage? Compete in the Pro Tour qualifier on Sunday and receive a Progenitus foil promo just for playing, plus the chance for an invitation to Pro Tour Rivals of Ixalan in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And don't forget to come say hello to Grand Prix Washington, D.C.'s many special guests, including cosplayer Christine Sprankle and an artist alley full of fan favorites, headlined by guest of honor Rob Alexander. Be part of Magic the Gathering history. Register for Grand Prix Washington, D.C. today.
So that's September 1st through 3rd. It's Grand Prix Washington, D.C. All right, so first game is in the books. It's for Michael Hamilton. There were some issues there with him being able to close out as a control deck. He could use some other ways to turn the corners. Let's look at some of the cards he has in the sideboard.
Yeah. So we got 3 Spell Queller, 3 Glory Bringer, 2 Gideon Ally of Zendikar, a Chandra's Defeat, a Radiant Flames, a Forsake the Worldly, a Jace's Defeat, a Dispel, an Essence Scatter, and a Confiscation Coup. So previously we did see him bring in this creature package against this player in this matchup. So you should see Spell Quellers, you should see Glory Bringers. I would want some extra punch. Gideon seems reasonable here. Definitely the Radiant Flames, though. Jace's Defeat.
I'd love the other sweeper. Jace's Defeat seems fine. We saw him boarded in last time as well. Yep. Yeah, just kind of cleaning up, I think, some of the messier cards in the matchup. I wasn't really impressed by Linvala that game.
Right.
Gotta keep the Nicol Bolas. I mean, he couldn't have... That's a real question, right? I know that you're not a big fan of Nicol Bolas. Does he have to keep it in the deck? If it wasn't there, he would have actually lost.
Glory Bringer does change the equation some.
Some.
Not entirely.
Some. I'm a real question. Can he cut the Bolas?
I think he can. In particular, if he's bringing in Gideon, I think he can. You're right, though. You're right.
You're like, man, I don't want this card in my deck, but I don't think he could cut it.
This is my win condition. I can't just get rid of Rainbow Efreet and Stocking Stones. I gotta win the game sometime.
I know Rainbow Efreet's bad, but if I don't play it, I can't win. Might be true. On Jonathan's side, he actually has a great sideboard. 3 Gideons, 3 Negates. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, that stuff is all excellent. And previously, Rosum seemed to be taken by surprise by the Glory Bringer and the Spell Queller. Ended up winning a game anyway, but likely found himself without some stasis snares. You imagine he'll have some number of that for the sideboarded games here.
Yeah, Rosum will be on the play again. I mean, the card that I still really am looking to see is Oketra's Monument from Jonathan. It's been so good in this matchup.
Yes, in every matchup. It's really just what makes this deck tick.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, this feels like a blue-red matchup. There's just some clunkiness on the 4-color side. Instead of Hour of Devastation to go past Selfless Spirit, he has Dovinbon plus Fumigate, which does work. It's 2 cards instead of 1, and means you're playing Dovinbon. But Dovinbon was great. It actually shut off the Westvale Abbeys that game.
Essential.
And it was. Not even exaggerating.
Yes. That was the only way that West Valley Abbey was not going to get there.
Yeah, we're not to mention the stack of 6 clues Jonathan never cracked.
Though the more telling thing, to me anyway, and, you can be one of the people that looks at just the scoreboard or whatever, but it's just the fact.
How do we get there?
Well, without the Dovin, Hamilton was not beating West Valley Abbey. Just one copy of West Valley Abbey. He was not going to beat that without that.
That's how he plays Dovin.
Well, yeah, he's got it all figured out.
It's it's not the cleanest answer, but it does work. I don't know. I can be sold. I can be.
It did work. I don't know if it does work.
Well, it's like works some of the time.
50% of the time, it works every time.
All right, players are present for a second game here. Jonathan Rosum. We mentioned that in both his quarterfinals and semifinal matches, actually had needed 3 games to beat both Jason Morgan and Zan Sayed, but Jonathan has been up to the task. Still has not dropped a match on the weekend.
Hamilton yet to lose a game in the elimination rounds.
Yeah, one of these is going to have to break. Both players keeping on 7. So turn 1, Thraben Inspector on Rosum's side. We saw last game between Thraben Spectre and Dahanvir Militia Captain. Jonathan was able to aggro Hamilton down to 7, really before Hamilton was able to get started. And it looks like Rosum's going for a similar strategy here. Selfless Spirits turn 2.
Yep. Yeah, there's going to be some number of these games where Rosum can just come out ahead, stay ahead, and win the game.
You see those Dusk to Dawns. One of them already in Jonathan's hand. I suppose after last game, he's never cutting that card.
And especially now, when you know that Glorybringer is coming in, you actually get a little bit more value out of that one.
Tries Bygone Bishop. Last game, tried that on turn 3, got Essence Scattered. I wouldn't, and it's going to resolve here. Bit of a surprise, unless there's a Radiant Flames hiding.
Well, Selfless Spirit covers that one.
Yeah, this is big for Jonathan. 1, 2, 3 on creatures. His opponent didn't do any interacting. Port Town and go. I like the speed of this one more. Michael down to 11.
This is my kind of game.
There we go. Jonathan's got places to be.
Got to catch the
Selfless
Game
Spirit.
of Thrones.
Yeah, he heard the Game of Thrones song in like an hour. He's got to go through this.
Alas, we got to get this done fast. I got to win 2 games, and I got to do it in 15 minutes.
2 Selfless Spirits, 2 clue tokens here for Rosum. It's going to be very hard for Michael to get by this. I like here that Jonathan knows that Michael's deck doesn't play Hour of Devastation.
Yes.
There'd be some concern on Jonathan's side. He might make the play anyway, but now that he knows it's not there, just full speed ahead, attack, attack, attack.
Probably would be more deliberation at the very least.
And Spell Queller picked up for Rosum. Oketra's Monument as well in hand. Swings them all. Almost even swings the clue token also. 7 damage. Michael will cast Glimmer. Jonathan will Spell Quell it.
And with the Selfless Spirit still intact, that should lock this one in. Hamilton would
Game
need
3.
Radiant Flames removal
Boom.
spell.
Boom. Jonathan, look at the smile there. What Michael takes 50 minutes to win game 1. Jonathan wins the next one in 2. And just as quickly as that, he's evened it up. Oh, my goodness.
And we are going to game 3. Yeah. When Hamilton won, it took basically his entire deck. When Rosum won, it just cast a bunch of spells on curve.
The only spell Hamilton played that game was Glimmer of Genius, and it was hit by Spell Queller.
Yep.
Wow. All right, so they are going to go to a 3rd game. Play, draw, do you care about switching your strategy here? It looks like Michael's actually changing a card or 2.
Yeah, they're reevaluating it. Kind of the creature package, it does have variable quality play draw. Also, if you expect, your opponent's playing based on knowing around it, you do have the cat and mouse with the Spell Queller and the Glorybringer.
All right, so yeah, players are switching a couple play draw sideboard cards here. They're getting ready for their 3rd deciding game. Now, next week, the SCG Tour makes its next stop. It's going to be down south in Atlanta, where we have our team event. July 22nd and 23rd, so next weekend in Atlanta, you need a Legacy, Modern, and Standard player for the event. Based on this weekend, I like Team Lotus Box in the event quite a bit.
I do, yeah. 2 players in the top 8 here. Different archetypes as well.
In the top 4. One of the things, because if you look at the Team Lotus Box, most of their players in the 18 to 24 age range. They're one of the younger teams here on the tour. What I like, though, is normally you have a team that young, what you'd say is, I'm concerned about them playing Legacy, you know. But they have Dylan Donegan on the team. He's someone who actually has won an invitational with Legacy.
That is true. A few Magic sets came out before Dylan Donegan was born. But, yeah, he certainly plays them well.
Yeah, a lot of good teams, though, for that Open coming up in a week. So for here, where we have our third game, Rosum has 1 in 3 the first 2 rounds. Just checking through his deck, making sure he has it how it wants to be for game.
Looks like he's fiddling with those Dusk Dawn numbers.
Yeah, Dusk Dawn, maybe not. Looks like he's boarded 1 of them out.
That makes sense. Going heavy on it can be awkward. You won't play a ton of games where you need to Dawn every single time.
The third one.
Right.
The third one doesn't matter. I mean, if he thinks there's Glorybringers in, I like the argument you made. What he's deciding between is Angel of Sanctions or Dusk to Dawn.
The Angel takes care of Spell Queller, which is pretty nice.
Yeah, and I also like, they both are card advantage. Remember, Angel of Sanctions has the Eternalize, or Embalm, rather.
It does answer Planeswalkers, too, which is really nice.
Yeah, that game when the Dovinbon was ticking up, if Jonathan just had an Angel of Sanctions either in the graveyard or in the hand, we'd be looking at a different game.
Right.
I think going back with Michael's list, I know we've been poking fun at it a lot. I do like what's going on here with this multicolor control deck. I'm interested. The one game where we had Nahiri kind of go all the way to 17. I wouldn't mind seeing another creature for that to go fine.
Perhaps one that costs blue 4.
That's a great one. I could come up with others. That's a pretty nice one, though.
Pretty into more Torrential Gearhulks.
Could get Razaketh.
And despite ending up in that game where the Nahiri couldn't -8 again, Nahiri does seem to be really powerful.
Yeah, the fact that the card didn't really have an ultimate, just had the +2 and -2, and was good enough on that. It's one of the better Planeswalkers.
Might want to reverse this 1 Nahiri 2 Dovinbon split.
Well, one thing, yeah, maybe. When you draw multiple Dovinbons, the problem takes care of itself. You can just start drawing cards with the Dovinbon. A second Nahiri, it's not as easy to do that with. Well, I guess you just plus to discard the second one. It's fine.
Yeah. He did have that Nahiri for pretty much the entire game there.
Yeah, well, we had that board in game 1 where he was so far ahead we thought he was going to clean it up. And then I think at one point, I was thinking, wait, is this real? Is Jonathan going to... Are we playing again?
Right.
I think Jonathan was a bit surprised himself. He said his play pattern was just, at some point, he wasn't really playing around things because he didn't really understand why he was still playing. And then he was maybe winning. Hamilton going to be on the play here. So the first check is going to be those quick starts. If Jonathan blitzed Michael Hamilton out of game number 2. On the draw, it's going to be harder to see him do that game 3.
Hamilton's deck can have some awkward starts, though. Yeah, if Rosum starts on Thraben Inspector and has a 2-drop on the draw, he can still come out really quickly. Gives Hamilton the option to have Essence Scatter or Censor even for the 2-mana creature, though.
Michael's going to be on the play. Being on the play here definitely can help. Both games saw Jonathan sneak a 2-drop under Michael's mana. Remember, just the 2 Magma Spray is the only 1 mana interaction that Michael has. See if they can both keep here. Love to see 7s on both sides for the deciding game. keep on both sides. So we start out, Inspiring Vantage from Hamilton. Jonathan, a land back, no Thraben Inspector. There is one first point of matter. There's an Oketra's Monument in Jonathan's opener.
Okay, getting that on the battlefield, very important.
Yeah, no 1s or 2s, though.
Looks like no blue mana either. There was at least one picked up there, though.
There, Port Town showing plains. Do you want to make the Oketra's Monument into this board? Jonathan decides it's too valuable and does not.
You got time to kill, and maybe Hamilton will play a Dovin Bond here and give you a window.
Because there are the 2 copies of a Braid. On end step, we're just going to see a Spell Queller by Rosum.
Pretty much dies every time. You may as well get on the battlefield.
And Hamilton actually had the option to Spell Quell the Spell Queller and just didn't take it. Makes sense. Saving that. You see he has both Supreme Will and Spell Queller available as counter magic. Just a pass from Rosum. On his own side, he has Queller, Monument, Bygone Bishop. Land for Hamilton goes up to 5. And passes. Hit from Spell Queller from Rosum. Okay, we're just going to keep trading. If they just keep trading land drops, that feels like something that's going to favor Hamilton. At some point, I want to see Rosum play something sorcery speed.
Hamilton's deck is extremely sorcery speed as well, though.
Yeah, Rosum's going to go for Cloud Blazer here. Jace's Defeat will counter it. The Gainsay reprint here. Counters a blue spell. Really likes countering Jace spells.
It does. So Hamilton, the only player in this matchup that brought a Jace to the table.
Yeah, and no punishment there, no tap out. So makes a 6 land and passes back, lets Jonathan untap. I guess that's the pressure. Michael can tap out whenever he wants without consequence. Rosum has to watch out for counter spells. We see Bygone Bishop from Rosum. 6 lands, so he has a Queller to fight a counter war here. We'll see Queller from Hamilton on Bishop. Will Rosum quell back or let it get countered? He'll go ahead and let that one get snagged.
And Hamilton has 4 sweepers post sideboard, so having a creature under your opponent's Spell Queller is not bad.
Another Bygone Bishop from Rosum. Resolves, and Hamilton finishes it with Harnessed Lightning.
Though now that Spell Queller does check Rosum's Queller.
Yeah, and here is Glorybringer, the draw from Hamilton. Will he turn the corner on this one? This looking nice for Michael Hamilton. He has... And the cards I'm liking here, these are the blue-red cards. He has a hand of Glorybringer, Torrential Gearhulk. I like both of them on this board.
Yes. These Glory Ringers have really been excellent. By my estimation, they're the highlight of the 75.
A swing from Queller puts Rosum down to 18. And here's Torrential Gearhulk. Harnessed Lightning kills the Spell Queller. And Hamilton, I think he's taking a line where he's not going to play as a control deck. He's going to play as a mid-range deck and just try to outrace Rosum. He's given Rosum free reign to cast the Oketra's Monument, which he'll do. It's going to be Monument, Bygone Bishop, get a 1/1, pass the turn.
Gearhulk for Harness Lightning there does a great job of disguising the fact that he has Glorybringer as well.
Draws, it's another Glorybringer.
Well.
That's going to do it. Here's Glorybringer. Swing, Dragon, Exert. It is 6 damage in the air and another 5 on the ground. This is going to put Jonathan down to 9. And he'll chump block. He'll stay at 14. But Rosum caught off guard here. Angel of Sanction is in his hand. He's going to have to cast it, but there's some worry here. You see Angel gets rid of Spell Queller. That's exiled. Gets a 1/1. Gets back Bygone Bishop. Casts that. I believe he gets a 1/1 off the Bishop as well, right? Yeah, he has to put it into play.
Yeah, you do cast it.
Either way, if Hamilton does have that second Glorybringer, it probably doesn't matter. Yeah, another Glorybringer, a Radiant Flames.
A couple really good options there.
Yeah. Angel Sanctions a 3/4, so Radiant Flames doesn't clean it up cleanly. There's still, believe, Spell Queller left. Is that in Jonathan's hand?
Hamilton had difficulty closing in game 1. That is not the case in these sideboard games.
Yeah, these multiple Glorybringers look to be really good here. If that last card in his hand is another Glorybringer. And it is. Looks really nice. This one going much faster. A mid-range fight between the two. Also, a last card in hand is going to be the Supreme Will. So Radiant Flames from Hamilton. That'll get spell quelled. And Supreme Will counters back. Now, Jonathan still gets the 1/1. He really wants to fight on this. Radiant Flames, the interaction with it and Spell Queller, pretty strong. If it's under Spell Queller, even when it comes back, it has no mana spent to cast it.
Right. And you see Rosum just gets in front of the Torrential Gearhulk there because the Glorybringer is going to kill his creature anyway on the following turn.
Okay. Selfless Spirit for Rosum. He can also Embalm, and he'll Embalm killing Glorybringer with the Angel of Sanctions. Embalm token. Now, this would all be great, and Rosum would be stabilized were it not for this last card in Hamilton's hand. Which is that last Glorybringer. I guess there's Selfless Spirit in place, so it's not actually going to kill the Angel.
Mm-hmm. The Rosum wouldn't be able to actually kill the Glorybringer in combat because the Angel is only a 3/4.
Right, so it means that he'll save his Angel, and then he has 2 turns to find a way out.
Now, if it had Eternalize instead of Embalm, that'd be a different story.
Yeah, 5 mana. Here's Glorybringer. Swing, exerts, shoots Angel. I mean, Jonathan just has to use the Selfless Spirit.
Yes.
All right. Protects his Angel of Sanctions for now, says go. Back over to Rosum. 2 mana, he'll crack a clue. Go up to 2 cards. Bygone Bishop and a land. Swings 3, puts Michael down to 11. And makes Bygone Bishop, getting another 1/1. Also, Bishop a blocker for Spell Queller. Says go.
He'll need to find something to solve this Glorybringer in the next turn.
Dragon unexerts. So it's only lands on Hamilton's side. One of them was a Fumarole that he adds here. Says go. Rosum, a big draw coming up here. It is something blue.
Yeah, not a creature, so we can't
I think
get
it's
a token.
negate.
Negate not great here.
So everything's going to attack. Hamilton can only block 1. So he'll take at least 4 damage here. Perhaps likely more. Could block. I think designed between blocking, I think, a token and the bishop.
Yeah. No pressing need to kill the tokens, though I suppose that 2 damage isn't a huge
Yeah,
deal.
the question is which one actually saves more damage. You take 1 more this way, but then you leave your opponent 1 more power.
Right.
Kills a token and says go. Negate was the draw for Rosum. And now Glorybringer might free the other dragon. A swing for 6. Hamilton's going to exert his Glorybringer. Angel of Sanctions down. Another Glorybringer back. Rosum is at 6. He's dead on the next attack. And there's an Essence Scatter in Hamilton's hand. This looks like it's going to do it. Rosum 1 draw, Selfless Spirit. It's a blocker. He's going to go for it. So blocker here. I assume Hamilton will try to counter. Essence Scatter here. Jonathan could not negate back more quickly. Draws a card off his clue. It's a land, just a pair of lands here for Rosum. And no good attacks. These Glorybringers are taking turns exerting. And we go to Hamilton. 6 and 5 are the life totals. They're close here.
Rosum really needed to find Dusk Dawn there.
Well, and Hamilton finds Dovinbon, which is actually really good here. Here's Dovinbon. Pluses on Selfless Spirit. Jonathan will sacrifice it in response. Which means Michael doesn't have to attack. He'll say go. Both Glorybringers are going to bring this in next turn unless Rosum can do something about it. He draws a Nimble Obstructionist.
That one's not quite enough.
No, even if he flashes it in as a blocker, he's actually still dead this turn.
Right. You can't both stifle something and cast it as a blocker, so you can't stop the Glorybringer exert from killing the Bygone Bishop and also block the other one.
Yeah, what he'll have to do is think now if he cycles it into something. You know, maybe waits for the attack. He cycles it and stifles the Glorybringer exert trigger.
Well, if he cycles it now and draws Dusk,
Okay.
I think that's his best line.
That's what he's going to do. Cycle. Can he hit it? He's going for Dusk. Gideon?
Ugh.
I saw the mana cost first. Like, very excited. Yeah, I thought he might have it. And that's going to do it. You have Michael Hamilton. He is your Cincinnati Open champion. He ends the undefeated streak of Rosum in Game 3 of the finals, winning the rematch.
Yeah, gets his revenge. Lost round 9 to Rosum and takes it back in the finals.
And it is, for the first week here of Hour of Devastation, it is 4-color Control winning the trophy.